Soul and spirit fly into mystic. Let your soul and spirit fly into mystic. Into mystic. Into mystic. Into mystic.
Good evening and welcome back to Mystic Matters. We are the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce. Good evening, Tricia Cunningham.
Good evening, Suzette.
You know what? I really want to know what's going on at the aquarium. Do you want to know what's
I
going
do,
on?
I
Because
do.
Here it is in the middle of summer, and I just want to know what's going on. Should we go right into
Let's
Becky?
do it. Let's do it. Hi, Becky.
Hi, Becky. How are you?
Well, how are you?
What is going on?
Well, let's see. We have a lot going on, of course. It being summer, it's our busiest season, but our absolute newest thing going on is a program called Train a Whale.
Train a whale.
Yes.
You mean we can sign up for that too, Becky?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Absolutely. Well, we always get the question, how do you become a trainer? And why do you train your belugas? And how do you train your belugas? And so we developed this program. It's limited to 2 people per session, so it's a very intimate, hands-on learning experience. And you're right there next to one of our beluga whale trainers during a feeding and training session with one of our belugas, and you're helping them practice these behaviors with the whales.
Very cool. Very cool. So what kinds of things happen when you sit down and work with these whales?
Well, you learn about some of the veterinary behaviors we teach the whales so that we can do regular health checkups on them, lay out some things that we use to get ultrasounds and blood samples. And then you also learn about some of their enrichment, some of the toys they play with to stay mentally stimulated, as well as what they eat, how much they eat. And then just basic information about the whales in general that people like to learn.
That is exciting because there's the program where you can go in and kind of sit with them, and we did that.
We did Mystic
and
Matters
let them
live.
spit at you, and you can feed them, and all
put
that.
your
good
hand on the
stuff.
tongue, and it's wonderful. It really is a great
But
experience.
this is really taking it to the next level. So
It
that's
is.
really exciting.
It is, and it's open to kids ages 13 and up.
Okay.
We run it Thursday through Sunday every week. There's one session per day.
So this is year round.
It is going to be May
Weather-
through October.
Okay, right.
And only one session per day, and that's important because
Exactly.
you don't want to inundate the whales too much either.
That's right, and they're busy as well with our Beluga Encounter program, our Whales Up Close program. We have so many programs with our beluga whales, so we don't want to tax them too much, and so we do offer this once per day for 4 days a week.
So people should really make reservations. For
They
that.
should. Reservations are absolutely a must because, like I said, there are only 2 people per session.
Oh, wow.
That's
and
fantastic.
if you go to mysticaquarium.org and you go under our Encounter program section, you can register right there and reserve a spot.
And I just want to tell you that my husband and I were at the jellyfish exhibit
Yes.
a couple of weeks
Oh,
ago.
it is so amazing.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful exhibit. You have to go. It's probably one of my favorites
it's
right now
beautiful.
because we're always changing exhibits, but it's beautiful and you have to attend. And also just to make a quick plug for Ocean Commotion coming up on
Yes.
the 25th, our premiere
Of September.
Of September. Oh yes, of September. We got a lot going on, but event for the Mystic Aquarium and that
Premier event
information.
for Mystic,
right,
yeah.
right. That
Right.
information you can find online as well.
As well, yes. And I do want to plug one more thing, and that's
Absolutely.
because we are in the middle of summer. Everybody is out there boating. I was down at the marina recently. There are boats everywhere, people everywhere. And one of our partners is Coastal Environmental Services.
Yes.
And they offer free pump out services for boats. And so, and it's all to protect and conserve our waterways.
Absolutely.
And so boaters out there, I know there's a million in the area. If you go to cespumpout.org, you can learn all about their services and how you can take advantage of those.
Very, very
so
important.
much
Thank you,
mentioning
Becky.
That is very
Thank you.
important. You know, our show that we had on last week was Dave from Biotech Pest Controls and talking about caring for the environment, you know, when you're treating your lawn, but also when you're out there boating, it's very important to pump out your boats and
right.
you know, maintain the healthy environment that we have to the best of our ability at this point. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Becky, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Tricia, one of the very most important part of our Chamber of Commerce and the events
Yes.
is volunteers.
We need
We
volunteers, and we're so grateful for our volunteers.
Right.
You know, we have
Right.
Mystic Outdoor Art Festival coming up in a couple of weeks, and if you can give of your time to volunteer for that event, we have time slots anywhere from 6 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon to help with breakdown, to all those times in between to help out. And we have over 100 volunteers for that event and Taste of Mystic that we need volunteers for.
Well, before we go into our first guest, our very first special guest, I wanted just tell people the importance, and I know I learned it very young, and I know you did too, of parenting and parents getting their children involved
Yes.
in volunteering. And tonight we have a very special guest. This person, young lady that's come on board, has helped us out behind the cameras and volunteers for Mystic Matters every week. And her name is Twyla Cunningham.
Yes.
And if you listen to the Cunningham,
There is a resemblance there
right,
in the name.
right. It's Trisha's daughter, Twyla
Yes.
Cunningham.
My
Okay.
wonderful, wonderful stepdaughter, Twyla.
And
I have
she's-
two of them, Twyla and Freya, and this is one of them. And she just had her birthday recently. She's now how old?
15.
Yes.
And Twyla, you've been with Mystic Matters for how long now?
Since February, I believe. So a
Yeah.
couple of months now.
Now we know that Trisha and Dad, they like you to volunteer. They've asked you to volunteer. I don't want to say
Absolutely.
they make her volunteer. And I know you know the importance of volunteering. So tell us a
Definitely.
little bit about your experiences.
Well, because Trisha works with the Mystic Chamber of Commerce, I'm able to volunteer a lot for the different events that they have, and I'm never forced to do it, but it's always a lot of fun to, get out there and interact with people and help out with the community. So it's really nice. Right now I'm volunteering here, and I also volunteer at Beachbrook Farms in Mystic, and that's a rescue horse farm. So I go there once a week too, and I volunteer rehabilitating horses, and we groom them and we feed them, and we just try to bring them back a little bit, because a lot of them are hurting after the different places they've been in. So that's what I'm up to right now.
That's exciting because, she
Yes.
gets to do something that's
Right.
a volunteer position like this, which is technical and doing all the little gadgets and buttons in the back room, which I honestly don't know what happens behind the camera. Suzette and I are here, so
Right.
It seems pretty complicated to me. So she gets to learn a trade of that sort,
Right.
but also go out and work with the
And
horses.
Frank's been a pretty good teacher to you too, right?
Absolutely. He's been amazing. So I've learned a lot, and I don't think I would have learned as quickly if he wasn't helping me. So
Well, I tell you, Trisha
So
and I have
thank
been
you to
doing.
Frank
Yes,
for being
thank
such
you.
a great
Thank you,
mentor.
Jeannie. We've done this for so many years together, and we still, I really don't know what goes on back there. They could be eating pizza from Pizza Grill back there for all I know, but according to our viewers, our show comes off just wonderful,
Yes.
and we just
And
really
we
appreciate
couldn't
it.
do this without our volunteers. So we have people that are behind the camera that are helping us every single week. They're doing things on the computers and typing in the names and working on the cameras, switching from one shot to another. So really, we wouldn't be able to do this show without our volunteers. So Twyla's been one of them,
Right.
and it's been wonderful. And
Yes.
she was doing a class this past year in high school. And tell everybody where you go to high school.
I go to the Science and Technology Magnet High School, and that is with New London High School, so half of my classes are there. And we do a lot of technology, and one of the classes I was taking after school was a photography class. And because of that, Trisha extended the offer to come and volunteer here, and so that's how I got started here.
Well,
So what do
Twyla.
you think so far?
I love it. Yes.
I didn't pay her.
Okay, just
I
so
didn't
everybody
pay her
knows.
to do
Yeah.
this or to say that either. It's just like
Yeah.
completely free.
Well, Twyla, you're a wonderful young lady, and I
Thank
know
you.
whatever you do in life is just going to be fabulous because
you.
you're
I
very
agree.
bright, and you've got some great mentors. So
Yeah,
thank you for coming
absolutely.
on.
And to
Thank
have the
you.
opportunity to say publicly how much I love this young woman, and so honored to have you in my life. It's really wonderful, and to have you be able to work with me, it's great. So
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and so we'll see you next week.
So it not only one volunteer do we have 3 volunteers in total. So we're going to have our next volunteer come on and interview him a little bit, because we really wanted our viewers to have the opportunity. You get to hear us go on and on a little bit here and there, but you never get to see who's behind the scenes. So we wanted to give this opportunity so you get to know who else is behind this show, Mystic Matters.
So, Michael,
Hi, how are you?
welcome.
Michael Toole.
Yeah, did I
Welcome.
just ask you that? And what
What did you
Michael,
say?
Michael, what did you say to him? I said, Michael, what's your last name?
Tool.
And it's not...
It's not O'Toole.
Not O'Toole, but Toole. So don't forget that, everybody. So that's kind of when people say, I say my name's Trisha, and they're like, Patricia? I said, no, it's
Just
not
Trisha.
Patricia. It's just Trisha. So
The O got lost in there somewhere, somehow. I don't know.
Well, Michael, you are how old?
I'm 15 years old.
Okay, and you attend which high school?
Stonington High.
And how did you hear about us?
There was an ad in the paper, and my mom knows I like technology, so she figured that she'd let me know about it, and I went in for the interview, and luckily I got the job.
Well, I think we're lucky.
We're absolutely
Thank you.
We're so
Thank you very much.
lucky. We're so lucky, and you know, you've had a little bit of experience. So when we interviewed you, we got to know you a little bit. So, but I would like the viewers to get to know what was some of your experience that you've done in the past that brought you to this level.
During middle school, I participated in the school video club, which would do a monthly broadcast with news, sports, anchors, just to let people know what was going on around the school, and that was a lot of fun. I would do editing, cameras, that sort of thing. And the experience I gathered from that, I thought would help me in this.
And how do you like it so far, Michael?
I really enjoy it.
Okay, and so I'm going to ask this question. If I don't ask it, Trisha's going to ask it. I don't want to
Okay.
steal this from her. So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
This is the question.
5
You know
years.
what? I have to say before he answers, we'll give him time to think about that, and we might have to say 4 and then 10, like give him
Absolutely,
like, you know,
yes, right,
But
'cause
at
he's
the
only
very
15.
end, I know, at the very end of the show, I think we might have to call Twyla back on
Yeah.
to answer that question. So Twyla, back
Be
there,
ready, yes.
A heads up, I want you back on at the very end to answer that question too, because we didn't get a chance to put you on the spot enough.
This is a good mom.
Okay, so
So you've had time to think.
A little bit. In 5 years, hopefully, I'll be at a good college,
Okay.
pursuing hopefully some sort of career in music.
so
hopefully.
music. So that's another passion of yours,
Wow.
you
that's-
see?
Do you play an
Alright.
instrument? Do you sing?
I play a few instruments.
What instruments do you play?
I've been playing guitar for quite a number of years. I play
Guitar, there's a guitar, there's like
The six-string.
acoustic, there's
both
bass.
acoustic and electric guitars
Okay,
I
so
play.
okay.
I also play the bass guitar and the upright double bass, the big acoustic bass, Charles Mingus and that sort of thing. I play
You're a talented young man,
Thank
Michael.
you. I play jazz and classical on that. And I also do a lot of concert and marching percussion at the high school.
So we were talking about, we're trying to look for some intro, some new music for the intro of our show. Maybe we can hit him up with his other musicians to create some kind of intro song for us, and then
Pressure.
we'll have the voters, the viewers
Right,
vote on
right.
that.
All right.
Well, Michael, this has been really great. Now, so what have you learned so far?
I've learned all about audio, how the audio is controlled, how the cameras work, how everything kind of goes on here. It's been very interesting. I've really enjoyed it.
I just have a question for you. Is it pretty funny back there watching us? Now, you don't have to answer
Well-
that. You can just say, I'll talk to you later, Suzette, but it must be pretty funny, huh?
Oh, it is. Hilarious.
What kind of constructive criticism might you have for Suzette and I?
Oh, I don't have any. It's great. You guys do a fantastic job.
Michael, you're wonderful.
I'm sure
Well,
our viewers might have some opinions, so if you have some out there, please let us know.
Just email us. Or them.
Well, Michael, you've just been a real pleasure to have on board.
Thank you
And
very
we're
much.
very lucky to have our volunteers
Yes.
working with us in Mystic Matters. We don't take it for granted,
Yeah.
and neither should all of our viewers, because this is a volunteer basis, and you really help us to make the show even better. So we
Now,
rely on you.
after college, where do you see yourself?
Hopefully doing some sort of career in music, whether it be radio or actually performing or writing music or just anything like that.
All right, so we will see.
And we will
It's
see,
wide
and we
open
will
right now.
watch you, Michael.
Okay, thank you.
We'll see you next week. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you very much.
Michael.
So, Tricia, let's just announce this one more time. We are looking for a new intro.
Yes, we're looking for, as you know, for our show, we've been doing the Mystic Matters show for over 5 years now, and we've had the same intro for the 5 years. So what we would like to do is see some kind of change it up a little bit for the beginning of our show. So if you have any ideas, if you have...
Make it a little edgy, you're saying, or
you
whatever.
know,
Matching our
let's
personalities.
Let's see what people come up with. We
Right.
want to know what your ideas are. So feel free to send us your ideas, your input, and if you happen to have a camera and can create some kind of cool video for us, or if you're a musician and can create some kind of cool song for us, let us know. It'll be fun.
Well, again, we talked about our volunteers and how important it is to our community, to the Chamber of Commerce, and certainly to Mystic Matters. And we have a great one for you. Ginger?
Well,
welcome aboard.
Thank you. It's nice
We're
to
so
be
happy
here.
to have you on our show. And I know you have learned a lot back there as well.
I have indeed.
What kinds of things? Well, you've had some experience.
You have had
in
a
this
lot of
field,
experience.
I've had a
but
lot of
different
experience, but
elements of experience too.
but I had people doing those things for me.
So tell us why you've had people doing those things for you.
I spent 20 years in Hollywood doing sitcoms.
Wow, 20 years in Hollywood.
20 years in Hollywood.
Okay, so the first question I'm going to ask, after 20 years of Hollywood, what are you doing here in Mystic area?
Well, when my career came to an end, I decided I had been away from home for 26 years, and it was time to come back.
So this is home. So
This is
back
home. I have family
Good.
here.
Good.
Yeah.
So you're originally from here, Ginger?
I'm originally from New Jersey.
Okay. Well, that's the East Coast.
Yeah,
Yep.
Right.
but my parents retired here, and my younger brother built them their retirement home, and he fell in love with it, so he bought land and bought himself, built himself a retirement home, or a home, and so everybody just sort of congregated in this area.
It's wonderful to be around family, isn't it?
And it's really a great community too.
It
to be a
is. I
part
really
of.
enjoy it.
Good.
Well, when
really
Tricia
enjoy
told me about our volunteers, where I said, "Wow, it's really, really exciting," and Ginger, we're just blessed to have you on board as well,
Well,
to keep us in line.
Yeah, I know.
Because I want to tell you, there's a lot goes behind the scenes, but
she's been. Tell us about your 20 years. What did you do?
Primarily, I was an associate director.
All right. So soon she's going to be directing us and telling us, okay, you shouldn't be doing it
Doing
this
it.
way. You need to. Be doing it
and we
this
don't
way.
mind. We don't mind at all.
So what I would do, I did sitcoms for the 20 years. I did sitcoms, and I would sit down. Let's say the show was being taped in front of an audience on a Friday. I would sit down with the director on a Wednesday, do all the camera shots. We'd rehearse on camera on Thursday. Friday, we would do 2 shows. I would sit in the booth. I would ready all the cameras.
What does ready all the cameras mean?
If if we're on camera 1, then I have to make sure camera 3 is in position and has
Okay.
the correct shot.
Okay.
And that goes through however many shots you have in the show. Plus, you would set cameras for anything you thought you might need in editing.
How many cameras would you
4.
have? Okay.
4 cameras. Okay.
4 cameras. And then after the show was taped, I would take the whole mess into editing and sit with an editor and cut it down to time.
And how long would that process be? How long does that take you to cut it down into time?
We normally had a 2 AD system, so one associate director was on stage with the director, and then the next week, the one who had done the previous Friday's show would take that, go into editing. We normally had, unless a show was really in trouble, you normally had 2 days to put it together. Then you would get notes from the producers. Then you would do the final, go to the master tapes, put it together. Then you'd have to put on all the graphics, all the names and everything.
Wow.
And then you would take it to sweetening and you would...
Sweetening.
Sweetening. It's the
Okay.
audio work.
All right.
Oh, okay. So,
So
from start to
interesting.
finish for a 1.5 hour long sitcom, how many staff members are there to produce one show?
On tape day,
I guess in general for a whole week to create that 1.5 hour show.
well, there would be a big difference between Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday and
Yeah.
Friday because the crew would come in on Thursday.
Okay.
And you'd have your 4 camera operators, you'd have your 2 boom operators, you'd have your director of photography, you'd have your grips.
Your grips.
Grips move the stuff around.
Okay.
You'd have,
So we all read those credits at the end of the show.
yeah, and
Yeah.
well, it goes on.
Words
It
mean.
goes on
Right.
forever. Then you have your technical director who physically cuts from one shot to the next. You have your audio man. You have the person in charge of the videotaping, make sure that all the pictures are going on the tape properly and that we have all of our takes. So it just grows.
Right.
And then, of course, you have craft service.
So,
Craft service. That's your food.
yes, you need to have food.
We don't have food here, Frank. Okay? We have coffee. We don't have food, but we love Frank.
Frank is going to say we're lucky
We love
have
Frank.
coffee.
Okay, we love Frank. So, in your 26 years, what was your favorite part of your job?
I think editing was my favorite part of the job.
And why is that? What part of it? Just being able to create this mess, as you said.
Because if
to
something
a finished
didn't
product.
work, you could fiddle with it and try to make it work.
Wow.
Plus, there was usually just 2 or 3 of you in the edit bay, and you didn't have people
That whole
running,
staff,
the whole
yeah.
staff running
Right,
around
right.
hysterically because it was 5 minutes to
And
showtime.
there's kind of an artistry to that, I'm sure,
There
as
is.
well.
Wow.
There is.
Well, geez, Ginger, we are just so honored to have you
Thank you.
on our little show, Mystic
Yes,
Matters, which
I
we
know.
just think is just a wonderful
So
show.
we have 3 great, wonderful volunteers,
we
and
do.
we're so happy. So people who are watching, please keep that in mind that, it takes volunteers to put things like this together. So with all things, with other nonprofits in the area,
Right. They're very
everybody
important.
needs volunteers. So if you have some time on your hands, find what you're particularly interested in and see how you can put that to use to give back to the community, which is
Right.
kind of what Ginger's done today. So thank you so much.
And certainly
very
we want to just
welcome.
announce again, the Mystic Outdoor Art Festival coming up, and also the Taste of Mystic.
Yep.
And we have over 100 volunteers for those 2
For each of those events.
And it's amazing too. And really just appreciate everybody that comes out to support.
And how do you see yourself with this show and being able to give us little tips and things?
Oh, good
down the
heavens,
road.
but this is my second
I know,
week.
it's
I
your
haven't.
second week, I know. You're like, are we putting it on,
We're
on
going to
camera?
rely on
But
Ginger.
I'll start taking notes.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right,
perfect.
that sounds great.
Because we want to know. Because with that experience, she can really put that to some good use. And one thing we don't do on the show is we just tape and go.
Yes.
We don't do any editing. We
No,
just
we
kind
don't.
of like
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
So if you see us like a little blooper, that's it. It's
happens.
on there.
This is a sitcom all in itself, okay? Well, Ginger, thank you so much
You're very
for
welcome.
being with us and supporting us. And so I guess at this time we have to ask that one person that hard question.
Ooh, Twyla. Bum,
Should
bum,
we
bum.
get Twyla back
I
on
think
here?
we should. Why not?
And
Let's get
ask
Twyla
her
back
really
on.
that real difficult question
Yeah.
that you've been
Where
waiting to ask.
do you see yourself in
Well,
5-10 years?
I
We
was going to
put-
ask you that.
We put poor Michael on the spot, so we might
I
as
didn't
well
ask you
put
that.
me personally,
Right.
where I see myself in
Yes.
5 years. Oh, I see myself supporting Twyla in her college endeavors, and
whatever that may
and
be.
starting Freya in that journey. So as a parental unit, I see myself,
I think it's wonderful.
fully immersed in that.
I probably could have
How's
answered
that
question.
answer?
That was
All right.
that was a very good answer, Tricia, and one that I particularly like. So, Twyla?
Yes.
We did it to Michael. It's only fair.
Yes.
I guess so. In 5 years, I will definitely be in college, although I thought about taking a year off maybe to go into AmeriCorps just to do some volunteering in there. But if I don't
That
do
is
that,
wonderful.
if I don't do that, I will be in college. I'm trying to decide between psychology and maybe oncology right now. So
Wow.
one of those 2 things.
I definitely am going to be around to see that happen. I will. I'll definitely be around. Well,
And
Twyla,
since you guys have been watching us back there, do you know how much time we have left on the show?
We have about 5 minutes.
we do. Okay.
Normally Twyla comes out and
Right.
she gives me a little warning.
Right.
So that means we know, okay, we need to wrap it up. So Twyla, what was one of your favorite things that you've gathered out of or gained from volunteering here, and one of your favorite experiences from volunteering on the show so far? Because you've had a little bit more experience and time with us since
Ginger and
Michael.
Michael. Yeah,
They've
right.
done it
Right.
for a week now. So
Well, I've mostly been working with the cameras. I haven't moved them around, but I, switch back and forth between the different shots, and I really enjoy doing that. But it's just every week there's such different people on, and
Right.
it's so entertaining. I love seeing the guests that come on here. So
Well, that's why we have Ginger with us too. She's going to look at our sitcom here.
yes.
and tell us everything we should do and shouldn't do.
Now, what I asked Michael this as well. Do you have any constructive criticism for us?
Be
Or
very
something that-
careful.
Suzette says, "Okay, you watch what you say." So because there's always room for
Oh,
improvement.
absolutely.
So we
Right.
want to know what you
Absolutely.
think.
I don't know. I think it's pretty good now. I heard some talk about guests from restaurants maybe bringing in food. So
I think Michael has had an influence on Twyla and Ginger, I guess. But you know
Okay.
what? We don't doubt
If you're
that.
going to come on this show,
Right.
you better bring us food. Forget about the fact if you're in a restaurant
Right.
or not. Just bring us food. So that would be great. We
Yeah.
need some snacks.
Right. Well, Twyla.
And Ginger brought that up too.
Yeah, she did.
brought that up
She
too.
did.
So
Well, this has been one of my favorite
I
shows
think
we
this
can
will go
we
down
can
as
be
my favorite show.
Be ourselves with our volunteers, and certainly we wanted the faces to match the work.
Absolutely.
Okay, and I think that's what we've done this evening. And once again, thanks to our volunteers, Twyla, Michael and Ginger, and also Frank Fuccini, who always puts up with us
Frank,
every
thank you,
week. He's a
Frank.
great. And Tricia, it's also been a pleasure. We don't know how long we've been on the
We
show.
lost track. We have no idea.
Right. We just continue every year. We assess it. We are tired, and we think about it for a few weeks whether we're going to come back. But we always come back.
We always do.
And we're always energized. So thank you to our audience for Mystic Matters, and also to all those other volunteers that support the Chamber as well. And Tricia,
Yes.
it's always a pleasure. And
Always
I know
a
I'll
pleasure,
see you
Suzette.
next
Oh,
week.
darling. It's wonderful. Thank you.
We are the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce. Good evening.
Good evening.
Soul and spirit fly into mystic. Let your soul and spirit fly into mystic. Into mystic. Into mystic.